Hey everybody, my name is Jared and I am a Master Mason in the state of Mississippi in the United States of America. And previously here in the third section of the Entered Apprentice degree as it is in the state of Mississippi, we talked about the form of a lodge. Now, I'm not particularly sure why what we're about to recite today is not up there with that segment. I'm sure there's a good logical reason because people really do sit down and think about what would be the most sensible order for things to be in. But that said, we're sort of taking a little bit of a step back and re-emphasizing and re-explaining some things. So today, let's talk more about how lodges are situated and why. Lodges are situated due east and west because that was the situation of King Solomon's temple. It was so situated because when Moses had safely conducted the children of Israel through the Red Sea when pursued by Pharaoh and his host, he, by divine command, erected a tabernacle and placed it due east and west, to perpetuate the remembrance of that miraculous east wind whereby their mighty deliverance was wrought, also to receive the rays of the rising sun. King Solomon's temple was an exact pattern of this tabernacle, for which reason all lodges should be situated due east and west. So as a quick refresher, going back a few videos, we talked about the form of a lodge and how it is an oblong square, or in other words a rectangle, that is lengthwise from east to west and the short side being north to south. Now we're learning that they're situated that way because we want to remember the pattern of King Solomon's temple, which was patterned after the tabernacle that Moses erected. So in another way to say this, we're sort of just hearkening back to how something was done that was done by divine command and saying, well, heck, if it was right to do it that way then we ought to still continue doing that today. But I think what's probably more interesting, something more to think about, is just how often this pattern occurs in other things throughout history. The sun rising and the sun setting are very powerful things, physically in nature, but also symbolically to represent so many other things, which we will talk about again in the next video. So as we're sitting here and thinking this and applying it toward Christian Holy Scripture and thinking about how Moses' tabernacle was situated due east and west for the sake of the rising sun, but also because of the miraculous east wind, and how King Solomon patterned his temple after that, and therefore we're going to pattern our Masonic temples after that. We can also realize that this isn't exclusive to Freemasonry. It's not even exclusive to the Christian religion. We can find this sort of a pattern in a lot of different things. And if you can take the time to realize, yes, it's important to me and my faith, but let me try to understand why it's important to other people and perhaps other people's faiths. And what more can I glean from that? Because if it can apply to many various groups, then chances are there's some sort of a umbrella type of reasoning that is connecting these things, and we can expand our thought process a little bit more. So again, I can't really speak. I'm not on the board of directors of the work. I'm not a custodian of the work here in Mississippi, so I'm not entirely sure why this isn't mentioned up there in the form of the lodge. Maybe it just sort of breaks up the line of thinking that's occurring up there, and so we fill in the gap a little bit later. But that's the explanation that's given here on why when you visit a lodge, we don't just say that the master sits in the east. It almost always, at least around here, he physically, literally is in the eastmost side of the building, and then the rest of the lodge gets formed around that. It doesn't always work out, and it's not a requirement. You won't be, it's not like you can't get a charter if you can't set up a lodge that way, but it certainly does have more of an impact in doing the initiation and other degrees if the compass directions actually line up with the physical location of wherever you were meeting. So there you are. The lodge being situated east and west, and why. If this is explained differently, or you have something else you'd like to expound upon, please do so down in the comments below. I know that we've had a lot of brothers that come here not just to hear me talk. They might not even care what I say. They go straight to those comments and look to see what's happening in your jurisdiction. So thank you for continuing the discussion down there. We'll see you next time. Bye.